guys, I'm Layla. Thank you for hanging out for a raid lore story. So today we're going to be reading the story for Karilon the Ringer, brand new legendary add into the game for this Christmas holiday season. And considering it's Christmas today, I thought this would be a really fun one to read. Twitch chat asked me to wait for Christmas for this because he looks like bad Santa, right? He looks like the opposite of Sir Nicholas. So let's see what his lore story is like. Winter and death are intrinsically connected. Cold and hunger saps the soul of its strength, and so many Talarian cultures have various festivals, feasts, and holy days throughout the season that guaranteed company and a warm fire, such as Yuletide. With these occasions go famous figures in the stories that surround them: the infamous ogre and feast thief Grunch, the mighty Sir Nicholas, or the elemental snow monster known as Blizzar the Howler. Few of these near mythical winter beings elicit a response among the common people quite like Karilon the Ringer. In stories, Karilon comes most commonly in winter's final month. For many, this is the most difficult time when storehouses and larders packed full at the start of the season have grown all but bare. Where Karilon comes from, none of the storytellers know. The first a village or town knows of his presence is the ringing of bells, a slow, sonorous clanging that accompanies his measured pace. The noise brings people to their door and windows, wiping a frost and condensation, many wondering at first just who, or what, seems to be calling out to them. The figure they see is as foreboding as the sound of his arrival. Karilon is a tall and gaunt man, clad in plates of black and gray armor and draped in an old crimson robe trimmed with white fur. On his head, he wears a spiked helm with a faceplate that obscures his features, replacing them with a carved steel visage of a bearded man with a cold and stoic expression. On his back is a heavy shield, while in his right fist he grips a staff surmounted by a withered wreath and a trio of bells, the source of the ringing that heralds his coming. In the fables, Karilon serves a purpose that is at once bleak yet hopeful. He rings out the last dregs of winter and ushers in the start of spring. In doing so, he collects the weak and dying and leads them towards a new afterlife of peace. For most, this is a mere story, but for some, it has a far greater meaning, for Karilon the Ringer is a night revenant, and the acolytes of the cult of Cleth hold him in highest reverence. Cultists believe that Karilon comes to lead acolytes to their new bodies. When he appears in a town, those with enough courage and conviction follow him. Cold mist summoned by his tolling bells reads the path they walk, hiding them from those not loyal to the teachings of Cleth. The slow ring of Karilon's bells keeps their course true, and he leads them to the lair of a soul shepherd by routes only he knows. There, the worthy have their essence transferred into soul gems, ensuring they will continue to exist until their consciousness can be planted into a fresh body. This much is true, though common cultists do not realize that the chances of receiving a new body for their soul are vanishingly slim. Karilon, once he was brought his latest band of acolytes to the presence of a soul shepherd, stand to watch over the ceremonial magics of transference, acting as both a guard and a vigil. In the former role, he is a fearsome individual, the arcane nature of his bells meaning that, should he will it, the sonic resonance of the chimes can freeze an opponent in place or rob them of their strength. Even more so than the crypt witches, the traditional guardians of the soul shepherds, having Karilon the Ringer present ensures a soul transference will be successfully completed. Karilon's supposed role as a guide and guardian for the cult's faithful ensures he is one of the Night Revenants most revered by the misguided common acolytes. Indeed, so great are the tales associated with him that some look to Karilon as the mightiest Night Revenant of all, only just below the great Cleth himself. These acolytes carry small bells in their person, tattoo them onto their skin, and strain eagerly during every winter's dawn for the sound of Karilon's coming, certain it is the only sure way of attaining the immortality they crave. Karilon cares nothing for the subcult dedicated to him. A former student of Umbral on the dreaded Isle of Perdition, his loyalty is to Cleth and no other. He knows that his purpose is to act as a beacon of false hope and to lead the lost to an early damnation. The tolling of his bells not merely for the cultists. They announce to the Night Revenant the beginning of a new year and a new harvest of fresh bodies for them to steal and inhabit. Okay, so this story was for Karilon, right? And yeah, I know you guys were talking about how you thought he was kind of like the evil Santa. So it's kind of creepy, kind of ominous how they talk about how his bells are supposed to signify the end of winter into spring, and how they say he basically takes those that are dead and dying, almost like a reaper, right? Except instead of bringing them to the afterlife, he's actually delivering them to the Night Revenant so that the Night Revenant can use their bodies. Very kind of, I'm not really sure what I think of the story. I think it does fit really, really well for Karilon. Again, very much like almost like the anti-Sir Nicholas in some ways. But guys, I would love to know what you guys think of this lore story, and thanks for watching.